Hello everyone, welcome back to Kiss and Create channel. Today I wanted to do a little something different. I wanted to paint. I wanted to create some artwork, mostly for prepping to make some journaling tags and note cards and things like that to put in my journal going forward. So what I'm doing is some loud arts using just acrylic paint, and I just put the acrylic paint onto this 140-pound art paper, just feeling with my heart. Just use some green and pink. I think it's like almost a fuchsia color, and nothing special. Also, I used a little bit of this metallic gunmetal color. I'll try to focus it for you. It was really cool. I found it, I think, in the dollar store. I think I found it in the dollar store. It's gunmetal or brush metal, a little bit shiny. I was hoping it would be a little bit more shiny on paper, but it's about good enough. I'm gonna put a little bit more on later, so we'll see. Then I put it on here, just a few brushes, trying to make it a little bit streaky. I wanted to get some texture to it, so I added this circle detail to it. This circle detail was from, oh my goodness, this is from a sock drawer divider, I think. So all I did was paint one side of it black, and then I just pressed it onto the paper a couple times, and then I did it again, and it came out. Some of it's really flat, some of it's not. Yeah, some of it has little bumps, some of it doesn't. Try to make it as little graffiti, little dirty kind of coming out. Yeah, nothing special, all over the paper. And I wanted to add a little bit more texture to it as well, here and there. So I added some gauze and some leftover tulle I had. The gauze is just some that I had lying around. Um, I think the cat got into the cabinet at one point. This is some washi tape that I put into a couple of different places. I wanted to get little hearts maybe in it, bring in some little fun. I usually, washi tape doesn't stick very well, so you always have to run it over some glue stick to get it to stick. Put it in a couple little places, run it through. Not a lot, just a few places, haphazardly. A couple places. Then I went over and used a rubber stamp to get some of the circles you might see. Used some yellow. I used a blue rubber stamp. Just kind of grunge it up a little bit. I also used one of those these makeup brushes and a one of the distressed one of those distressed oxide inks, and just messed it up just a little to bring down the tone a bit, try to get some contrast from one side to another. That's of course once the black paint was dry. So you can kind of see the difference between the before I added all the ink and the distressed oxide. You can kind of compare and contrast. There's a lot there. You can see the texture added and the tulle. Tulle's just added with some roll-on glue, and so was the gauze. That needs some time to dry. It's still a little tacky. And the gauze was just some leftover gauze. I think the cat got into the closets and I found it in the living room one day. So that cannot be used for human use. So might as well keep it in the craft room. It can be used again. So I cut it up, put into pieces, spread it out, put it onto, put a little glue on, pressed it down. It was a little messy, but it works. And it's just kind of coming off at the edges. I don't mind the mess. It's, if I didn't like it, I would trim it off when it goes into the book, but I kind of like it at the edges. It looks kind of cool. And then the tool is just some leftover tool. I make costumes once in a while for Halloween, and this was definitely, there's always more tool than you have, you get from the store than you need. So I always have some leftover tool. Just cut up a couple pieces and glued that on. And that needs some time to dry because that glue was coming out at the ends a little bit. But the texture feels really great. When you feel it, you can just get that good. Yeah, nice. Really feels nice. That texture is great. So when you go to pick up the card in the journal, it's going to feel really nice in your hands. And that's really what I wanted. Is I wanted that that feeling. So once all that is dry, we're going to add some more items to this piece. What I did here is I cut it in half just so you can see that kind of like the before and after. Oh, and this is the glue. I wanted to kind of show you what I'm using. So this glue in particular, the Zig glue, I had it in my stash because it's very liquidy glue, but it's used for the Cricut mats. If you're a Cricut user and you wanted to re-stick your mats, technically I think it's like a non, you're not supposed to use it for the mats, but like it's a cheat. So we're not supposed to use it. But it worked really well. If your mats don't stick anymore, you clean them off and then you put this on the mats and they re-stick. You let it dry a little bit and you can reuse it. It works really, really well. But I wanted to kind of roll something on and it worked really well for this. So that's the glue that I used for that. It wasn't a glue stick or anything, but it worked really well. So super happy with that glue. So here I'm going to, now that this is a little bit drier, there's a little bit more space that's a little sticky, still a little sticky. I'm going to add a little bit more gauze while we're here because some of the space, there's still some space that's open and doesn't hurt. We can fill up a little bit more space. So I'm just going to add some more gauze here just for some fun, fill up that space. Cut a few pieces off. Might as well not waste the glue. Or the gauze, that is. Just press it down a bit. Yeah. That looks not bad. Not bad. Okay. A little left over. That's fine. Okay. So you can see definitely the difference between the two before and afters. So let's start getting some other textures onto the one that we're working with. So what I have here is a napkin, dollar store, of course. But what I did was take apart the two layers. And you've probably seen this done on a lot of other YouTube channels where you can basically make paper out of, or a fabric almost out of napkins. That is, it's really cool where you lie the one ply of the napkin down over glue and then you wait till it dries, and it makes this really interesting sheer, mostly durable, it's pretty durable, rice paper type material. And it's really cool. I like it a lot. I usually use it in the journals to tone down a color if it's too bright, or use it as a page covering if I wanted to like cover writing. It's really interesting. You put glue on, if you've never done it before, you put glue on a surface, and then you put the napkin on top, and then you put glue on top of the napkin, moving it outwards, so there's no bubbles. And then when it dries, you slowly peel it off, and it becomes this kind of translucent material that's really crunchy. Just the napkin. I'm gonna see what we can do with this. Just a little bit. I want some good texture on here. I want to be able to feel. I want to be able to feel the card when I go and use it. Um, in the back, eventually I'll be writing on it. I'll be gluing a piece of paper that I wrote onto it, so that I won't really need to worry about that. But on the card, I want to feel it. Also, what I'll be using on this um, material, I'll be using some just random items as well. And usually what I keep for like random items when I'm creating in a mixed media space is a jar full of cutoffs. And I do a lot of sewing or knitting and other fiber crafts. So what I have here is I just collect the cutoffs for that kind of stuff. So I have some twine and um, yarn strips, and I have some floss from cross stitching, and just random pieces of string, and I have some lace. I have some fluff and ribbons. Oh, I have some random waxed paper. I don't know where that came from. Oh, I have a feather. Maybe I'll use that. Or I have the end of a tea bag. I don't know. Random stuff in here. So I usually just collect everything, put it into a jar. Never know what I'm going to find in here. Always some good stuff. But I usually find some. Ooh, that's a nice piece of lace. I might use that. Feather's always good. Maybe we'll keep that. Let's see what we have in here too. I don't know. Ribbon. Oh, that's some eyelash lace. That's always good. That paper should not be in this jar. It should go someplace else. I don't know what that is. Oh. Oh, that's a piece of gold, something or another. That might be good. That's a clear piece of lace. That would be good, maybe. All right, let's clean. I think this is a petal from a flower. Okay, that's not going to be a good texture. Let's put all this away. Clean up. Okay, note to self. Clean up sticky mats of glued items before emptying out jar full of little tiny bits. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. Oh, it's okay. It was going to be glued down anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. Happy accidents. We love these. It's okay. We're all, it was going to be glued down anyways. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's fine. Okay. As much as we can get cleaned up, everything goes into the queso jar. Excelente. Yes. All right. All right. So, what do we have? What did we take out here? Uh, oh, yes. Okay. So, we have the jar full of bits and bobs from the random fabric and other types of fibers. But I also have a jar full of other things too that I've collected that I like to do when I make some textured art or mixed media arts. Get ready for this, people. I have 3 jars here. You're going to love this. 3 other jars. 3 other jars. Here they are. All right. This is definitely, we're going to move these out of the way for this. First jar is full of used but dry and clean tea bags. So when you make tea that you're going to drink, or you're going to tea dye paper, a lot of junk journalers do that as well. You don't have to; it's not a requirement, of course. But I was doing some of that before, and just basically making some teed paper. And I drink a lot of tea myself. I would take the bags and just clean them out and save them. I would dry them, save them, and I like the texture of them a lot. And I use them quite often in my mixed media for this purpose. So I'm just going to pull a couple out that look kind of funky. They have, the reason why I like them is they have, one, they have a good texture, and two, they always come out with different colors. They always are a different color. So they're never uniform in their color or their shape. You know, you can always cut them too. They're easy to manipulate, but their color too is never the same. They're always a different color. So I keep those, take 1, 2 out. And then this jar is full of dried flower petals, mostly roses. People give you flowers for whatever reasons. I have a couple rose bushes in the yard outside. If I'm lucky that I get to do some yard work once in a while and I get roses. So I'm going to keep a couple of these out. Since this is very colorful that we're working on today, I'm going to the red, maybe a couple of red ones, but definitely the beigey color ones, which probably used to be white or yellow. And keep those going. And then, yeah, I'll keep with a couple of those. And what I'll do is probably won't glue those down just the way they are, but maybe cut them up or do something. Yeah. But I'll keep a couple of these out, save those for later. But they're completely dried before they get put away. And then the last container, super fun, cannot wait for this. This is, I can open it up. And it has to be like double wrapped here. It's the confetti container. Yes, all of us must have one. Oh, that's the receipt. Never mind. But it's the confetti container, everyone. It is. This is lovely. I happened upon this. I did not buy confetti just to have confetti in the craft room. I did not. I had to buy it for a friend for their wedding. They needed confetti for a photo shoot. I bought the confetti. I gave her the bag. Then she proceeded to take the photos and give me the bag back of confetti. And what am I going to do as a crafter? I keep it in the craft room, of course. So I have confetti now. And what am I going to do with it? Make mixed media with it. So I keep it double bagged in a container that is hard to open because it is going to get all over the place. And this, when we do take some out, we put it into a container. Very little gets put out and into it, and whatever is not used gets immediately put back, hopefully, because it does get everywhere. So we try not to use too much of it, but it's always fun and always wonderful. We need to sparkle whenever we can. So confetti out, and it's wonderful. See, it does get everywhere. It's always everywhere. I open it once and it's everywhere already. Been vacuuming for days. So the way I'm going to put all of the items that we have here onto the page, I'm going to use a mixture of Elmer's glue and or like school glue, basically white glue, and water. I did make this glue up before, but I haven't used it in a while, so it's a little dehydrated. So I'm just going to rehydrate the glue, and I'm going to speed this up for you real quick so you do not need to see this at all. Quick. All right. It's a soupy glue. You will just get a feel for it. It's kind of hard to explain. I think people call it PVA glue. It's just soupy glue. And a little goes a long way with school glue. So that's really all I need to say to it, I guess. We can talk about glue. I'm passionate about glue, so we can talk about it later if you need to. For all we need to know right now, it's just PVA glue. So what I'm going to do here is take um, some of that napkin that we were talking about before. Everybody say hi to the cat. Yes, we are here. And I'm going to figure out what to do with it. But we did pull out that weird paper out of that jar of the fabric pieces of the cast-offs. But I'm a little worried about it because I don't know if you could see it on camera, but it had a pattern to it. So I want to test it before I put it down. It was kind of cool. There is a pink pattern to it. It's pink with not clear white. So this book is my tester art book. If you do not have one, I suggest using it sometimes just to test what to do with it. And this is just a composition book. And what I do is I just test it. I put gesso over the pages and I paint over it and I test spots in it. So like I'm going to do here. So this is just a green page that I painted over. And I'm going to take a little bit of that paper and I'm going to put some glue down. I'm going to put the paper down. I'm gluing over it just to see how it looks and if it's going to be able to see that pattern. And if I can see the pattern over the paints on the page, then I'll probably use that paper. And it looks pretty good, actually. If I don't hit the camera and it wiggles, sorry about that. That doesn't look too bad. Okay. That doesn't look too bad. I like using these journals because not only is it like an art journal, but it's like my tester journal. I can't see it. Now, I'm going to test on this lighter color that has some pinks on it. Might be a good kind of representative of the pink. And I don't think it's going to work because there's kind of pink in it. And I was right. I'm not going to be able to see the pink. Yeah. Even on that dark black, I'm not seeing the pink really well, but it shows up really good. Purple did good, but not on the pinks. Not really as well as I would like. Yeah, but on the green it did really well. So I'm going to make sure that I put that to work really well on the gray, really well on the pink, and on the purple. Not good on the pink. Okay. So what I'm going to do is going to make sure that that type of paper goes onto the green spots because it worked pretty good on the green. Not the same kind of green, but it worked pretty good there. So that was my test to make sure that that worked good. Not on the pink. Well, made sense. Those are pink flowers. It's not going to show up too well. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Didn't work well. So I'm not going to do it. And it wasn't the same type, but yeah. Made sense. That just makes sense. And it's good. So this actually works really well. So I do this often. You can kind of see I did a stencil pattern on that page before. I use it for a lot of things just to test out experiments on different techniques. Just in case, sometimes you just don't want to do it first time in your junk journal. Test things out. Things happen. Don't do it the first time in your junk journal. So, all right. Well, now that we know what works on the green, let's take a piece and figure out what we're doing here. Okay. Now, I don't want to cover the whole page with the glue, of course, just where I want to put that specific item. And I don't need a lot of glue, just a little bit. I use the foam brush to do that. Usually can get a little bit of glue on there, smooth it out. And when you do this on paper in particular, you want to move or work the glue from the inside out. So from the center of the paper out, if that makes sense. This way the paper's not moving around. Oh, let's put some glitter on now. Just random. Gonna put some glitter on. This is just going to be a fun exploration of putting things onto paper. Sing, joyous, grunge up the paper, do whatever you want. I will probably just mess up this page. I will just destroy it. I will cut up, yeah, I'm going to cut up all this lace. This eyelash fringe kind of lace. And the way I would do this, so what I did was, just to explain a little bit more, because I'm working really fast here, I am just putting glue down and then cutting up pieces. I'm going to, eventually I will do the same with the rose petals. I will cut them up, I will fold them, I will do that as well with the lace. But you can see here, I'm putting like I put the glitter down and then I put the paper over it because of I should say the napkin over it. I'm going to ask why. What's going to happen is you're thinking, this is crazy. I'm putting a white napkin over the glitter. I'm not going to be able to see the glitter. Untrue. Because what's going to happen is this is going to dry fairly clear. It's amazing what happens when you put napkin over something. So you remember that what we looked at when I showed you that what happens when you do it just by itself, that paper. It dries fairly clear. You're going to be amazed at what this looks like. So you can see the glitter underneath the paper after. And you want to make sure that you're not being too harsh. This is why I like the sponge brush, because you can be kind of gentle with it. You can kind of work around it. You can get the bubbles out, work it a little bit nicely. No bubbles. You want the glitter to kind of, make sure that it's still there. It's not going to pop off. So make sure that the paper's still attached to the glitter. It's going to stay there. You're going to be amazed. Believe me. It's going to dry clear. It's going to be awesome. In truly the sense of the word awesome. So this lace, it was a big piece of lace. I'm going to cut it up into randomly sized pieces and just put down some glue, put down the lace, put it on the paper. No rhyme or reason. There is no measuring, no thought to this. We're just going to have some fun. Perfection is boring. Right? Perfection is boring. And the cat agrees. Yes, Mr. Man. The cat agrees. We'll cut up this gold. I think this is some kind of ribbon. I'm not too sure. Cut off from something. Bits and bobs, bits and bobs. So this too, it's a little rough. So I'm going to have to cover this too with a napkin so it stays on the paper. Even though I'll put some of that glue on the page, it's a little too heavy to stay on by itself. So I'm going to have to remember to put some paper down on it. Okay, this is coming out phenomenal. I'm so excited for this. With the glitter and the surprise pop of pink flower in this chaos is really great. I think what I'm going to do is speed up the process a little bit for you, and then we'll take a look at what the final product might be.